and it is our purpose for being here is to hear address from the Governor of Texas, Preston Smith. The chair is happy to introduce to you His Excellency Preston Smith, Governor of Texas.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, Lieutenant Governor Barnes, members of the legislature, and our distinguished guests. Perhaps this is one of the most unusual sessions that a Texas legislature has ever had. Certainly I cannot remember one in which you had a lame duck governor, a lame duck lieutenant governor, a lame duck speaker, a lame duck attorney general, and many members serving as lame ducks. But even with all of this, it is so wonderful to know that certainly we do have, or should have, a real good sense of humor. Recently I was on one of the major campuses of our universities. And while in the restroom, I noticed a notation on the wall. This happened since the election. And the notation at the top said, "What happened in the governor's race?" Signed, Preston Smith. And just beneath it was a notation that said, "Damn fino," signed Ben Barnes. Certainly I think it's wonderful that we can enjoy in this country experiences like this without taking them too personal. Almost a year ago, on June the 20th, 1971, I made a commitment to the people of Texas that there'd be no new taxes this year. I have been assured of the support and cooperation of the Lieutenant Governor, the Speaker, and the Legislative Budget Board in the adoption of a realistic no new taxes budget. The budget which I am recommending will require no new taxes, and it will require no substantial cuts in any of the vital programs or services provided by our state government. Early childhood development includes a comprehensive range of services to the child and to his family. The child's family is the most influential factor in his life. The child is directly affected by his family's unemployment and by inadequate housing, food, or clothing. The child is affected by those parents' substitutes who care for him in his home, in a neighbor's home, or in a child care center when his parents work. I am recommending an appropriation of $1 million for the Department of Public Welfare to develop experimental child development and daycare centers. I am recommending an appropriation of $1,700,000 for the Office of Early Childhood Development. This is necessary to conduct the need study of early childhood development in Texas, and it's necessary if we are to expand the information system and to implement demonstration projects to coordinate the efforts of public and non-public agencies in delivering health and nutritional care, family planning, and comprehensive early childhood development services. In another program aimed at improving the quality of life for poor people in Texas, I am recommending an appropriation of $7,700,000 from the General Revenue Fund to institute a statewide, state-funded food stamp program. There have been requests to the governor's office that I open the call of this session to consideration of approximately 125 other subjects. I have not yet made any firm determination about whether the call will be expanded to include any of these items after the appropriation emergency is resolved. In no event will any other legislation become law until an acceptable appropriations bill has been passed. Nor am I inclined to usurp or to permit this legislature to assume the functions or prerogatives that more properly belong to the next governor and to the next legislature. Now, there's been public clamor for reform in state government. The reform called for by those supposedly most familiar with the legislative processes. These requests are mostly superficial in nature and really do not get at the basic problems of responsibility. Responsibility, if you please, of the elected officials. Responsibility of the public. Responsibility of the news media. And responsibility of our public employees. Until personal responsibility and integrity of all concerned are coupled with structural reforms, the results will be negligible. Falsehood and innuendos, of which the walls of this Capitol appear to be painted, have swept this state during the past year and a half. After the feathers of falsehood have been scattered to the four winds, it is impossible to pick them up. The falsehood, it's been said, travels around the world while truth is putting on her slippers, getting ready to start. So, as we prepare for a most important special session of this, the 62nd Legislature, let us remind ourselves of our individual and collective responsibility and integrity, for which I might remind you there is no substitute. This can and should be a session in which harmony and unity prevail, and one in which the people's interest is the only interest that is served. If we fail to achieve that end, if we allow politics, bickering, and personal feuds to undo what we could accomplish, none of us will win, and the people of Texas will lose.